Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and in today's video, I'm going to be going over the Audi RS3. Before we get into this video though, as always, if you want to save time and money the next time you purchase a car, link to my car buying guide in the description down below. Let's get into it. Under the hood, we have a turbocharged 2.5 liter 5-cylinder that goes through a 7-speed dual clutch automatic. Fuel economy is 20 around town and then 29 on the highway, with power outputs being 401 horsepower and then 369 pound-feet of torque. Now, before we go over the front end, I do want to mention, if you want to see more videos just like this, then I recommend you subscribe because I post content every single day. So starting with the hood, you guys can see the distinctive lines there. I think it looks really cool and aggressive. And then popping down below, I think the daytime running lights also look absolutely fantastic here on the RS3. And it does a little dance when you lock and unlock it. I'll show that a little bit later. And then you guys can see here, it's all blacked out with a parking sensor integrated into that area. And then look at the grille, also all blacked out. And then we have our RS3 badge there. Putting it all together, I think this is the best looking RS3 that Audi has ever produced. So here's the lock and unlock with the front end. So here's locking it. You guys can see it just does a little like thing across. But the cool thing is when you unlock it, I think the animation's pretty fun. Now coming around the side here, our tire and wheel setup is 235, 35, 19 in the front and over in the rear as well. Now this has a winter tire setup. Normally with the summer performance tires, the front tires are gonna be a little bit wider than the back tires. But regardless, you guys can see the wheel design. I think that looks really cool. And then notice how the brake caliper is painted red. I love how much the fender pops out here, and then this little piece right here, I think that also looks pretty sweet. Notice how it's blacked out there with the side skirt, the mirror cap, also at the top with the roof as well. And then taking a look at the side view here, it is a little bit stubby with the overall proportions, but that's because, again, it's built off of an A3, but I mean, overall, I think it looks good. So here is the key fob. Notice it has RS there on the back, which is pretty cool. We've got our unlock function, the opening here for the trunk, and then our lock function. We can just press this a couple times and, ooh. Now being built off of an A3, you guys can see that it's gonna have a smaller size trunk, but I mean, it's actually relatively practical overall, I'd say. I think that this would work for most people, and then you can see more storage underneath. And then when you're all done, you just plop that down like normal. You guys can see low profile blacked out spoiler here, and then we've got the taillights, which also do a cool little dance here, as you can see. And then notice with the badge is blacked out, and then you got RS3 there. My favorite part though is the covers over the exhaust tips. I think they just look super aggressive on this. And putting it all together, I'm actually a really big fan, again, of the overall exterior styling here on the new RS3. Let me know what you guys think. Now popping inside, I love this trim here that goes to the door handle. And then we've got some Alcantara here, and then you can see the padding down below. And then here are these seats. Look at the design there in the center. I think that looks really sharp. Legroom here in the back is actually pretty solid. You guys can see we got a little cargo net here. We got some vents, some USB action as well. And then headroom back here is really good actually. Oh, and I almost forgot. We got a cup holder armrest. Now taking a look at the front door panel here, you guys can see again with the trim. And by the way, that little strip right there is the ambient lighting, which is pretty sweet. Memory seat functionality, again, we've got like the Alcantara, you can see with the padding down below. All of our window controls here with our mirror adjustments. The mirrors do power fold in, and they also have blind spot monitoring. Just a quick look at them. And then with the front seat, notice it's got the RS logo there, and then you guys can see the design all down the center portion. And then look at our power adjustments here on the side, and then RS3. And you guys can see here with the pedals there at the bottom, and then we've got all of our light controls just in that area. So taking a look at the steering wheel, we've got the golf ball texture all around, which I'm a big fan of because not only does it look cool, but it actually feels really good in your hands. RS logo there at the bottom. Really nice paddle shifters here on the back for that 7-speed dual clutch. We've got our little RS mode right there, volume controls. We've got cruise control here on the back. It is adaptive if you guys are wondering. And then some controls for the center stack as well. And then you can see regular turn signal stock and then windshield wiper stock. Now the RS3 has this cool digital gauge cluster here, and as the car is warming up, it actually has the red line at a lower amount, which I think is pretty cool. But with Audi's virtual cockpit, you can kind of change like the view in terms of what it shows, and like with nav, it'll show like the full nav screen, for example, which is pretty cool. And then we also have the drive modes that we can go into. So we've got auto that we're in right now, and then dynamic. Notice it'll just pop up there with the drive mode. And then of course we got the RS modes. And notice how it like completely changes the gauge cluster when you pop it into the RS mode. And then if I press the view button, Notice it changes it yet again. So it's cool how customizable this is. Now, if we pop it into reverse, we do have a backup camera with trajectory lines that do turn with the steering wheel. Now, as for the rest of the infotainment system, we have this like shortcut bar here on the side, which makes overall usability a little bit, well, not a little bit, but a lot of it better. But the big thing here with the RS3 is going to be the vehicle tab here. So first off, we got our RS monitor, which shows you a bunch of different bits of performance information. As you can see, that's pretty cool. But the cool thing is the drive mode select here. So you've got our different drive modes, then you have your RS individual and then your RS performance mode that you can go into as well. So again, that kind of adds to the customization. Now, the dash here is soft touch, but it's not leather or anything like that, just soft touch. But I mean, it does look pretty good. And then down below, I do love the look here of the vents and everything, and then this trim here on the dash. I think that all looks very nice. It goes to this area. By the way, we've got dual zone climate here with heated seats. No cooled seats though. And then you notice we got our drive mode select. We've got the stability control. You guys can see with the parking sensors, and then your parking assist as well. And we got some USBs here with our wireless phone charging pad. And then here is our little gear selector, kind of interesting with the overall setup. Got your volume control, which is the little dial. Still not sure about it because you just like spin your finger on it. It's obviously in a bunch of Audis, but yeah. Anyways, stop start button here. Got our parking brake with our 12 volts. Got some cup holder action. You can see nice padding here in the center console. And then glove box, it's pretty normal. Signed with felt though, which is nice. And then up top we got our control here for the center. If you just slide the shade back, if you just want, I guess, the glass part of it, not the whole thing open. So here's our winter sticker. I know some people are gonna call me out. This is a 22 and not a 23, but like there's no changes between the model years. Also, Kimura Gray. I think it's probably my favorite color I've seen on an Audi before. And it's 595 bucks. I think it's well worth it. Anyways, this is pretty typical for an RS3 specs. You guys can see base MSRP 58,900, but the options that this one has, I haven't seen an RS3 that isn't optioned out like this. They all seem like they're the same 65,000 MSRP after options. But anyways, let's see how it drives. Well, let's talk about visibility before we set off. Here's visibility over the hood. Hope you can now see the heads-up display. Both of the mirrors, we should do a blind spot monitoring and throughout the rest of the rear. And, well, let's set off. Okay, so we are starting off in the RS3, and of course we got a slow pickup truck in front of us. Well, we'll make do with what we can. This thing's really fast, like really, really fast. Stupid fast, in fact. It's pretty crazy the rate of acceleration that this thing has. I mean, it's just like, and you're up to speed. It's so fun. And the transmission's really dang responsive. Like, look at that. It's just like boom, boom, boom through everything. And actually, I'll pop it back into auto mode. This thing is crazy about this car is like, and this is kind of what a lot of Audis do. You pop back into like the auto mode, full like automatic with the transmission and automatic with the drive mode. And it just feels like a completely different car. The suspension's a lot more comfortable. It's quieter, right? Because it's got a valved exhaust. And I mean, super daily drivable. Like for a small sedan, it's actually really comfortable. The suspension on this is really good. I will say though, the dual clutch does get a little bit dual clutchy from time to time. And what I mean by that is it'll be kind of clunky, and you'll kind of hear it sometimes, but pretty good for the most part. And I think that it's worth it based on the performance that you get. But anyways, pop it back into that performance mode here. I mean, just listen to this 5-cylinder. It sounds so good. It's such an exciting powertrain, that is for sure. And I mean, like you can even, like you guys saw I'm not saying you should do this all the time, but you can even downshift into first gear and it will absolutely handle it. It's such a rocket ship. And you know, you do feel like this does feel like very front wheel drive, even though it is quattro all-wheel drive. It feels like there's kind of more power going to the front, but I will say in the performance mode, it seems like you get more of a shove from the back overall. But regardless, like this is on winter tires and the grip is just phenomenal. Now I do want to mention, normally I do this driving on the performance road. Performance road sadly still closed for the winter, so Hopefully that'll open up soon. It's sad that it was closed while I have the RS3 here, but I can say I have been having fun with this. Like on a daily commute, you can have so much fun with this car, because like you just go around corners as fast as you can. You just do fun stuff, accelerate. You know, if you have to pass someone on the interstate. I like how it shows me my torque though too. It's pretty fun. It's just a really, like, it's one of those cars that I feel like you can have quite a bit of fun. You don't have to do anything too crazy with the speed or anything. Like, look at this. Like I can come in here, high RPMs, rotate a little bit. I mean, it just kicks so hard. And I wonder how many G, we'll see with the G meter. I think I have it reset. We'll see how many we pulled around that corner. But like, it's crazy like how you can drive with this. It's so much fun. It's such a fast car. It sounds great. I can't really say anything bad about it other than the fact that it sucks that dealers charge over MSRP. I mean, that wasn't even pushing it, and that was still going crazy fast. So we'll pop it back into automatic mode. So to fully sum things up, I love the looks of the RS3. I think the interior is really nice for what this is. I think it drives really well. $65,000. This is just my personal opinion. I feel like that's already a lot of money for this type of car. Like a small, like given it is an amazing performance car and it's a daily driver, so it does combine two cars in one. But I already feel like that's a lot of money, and then the extra $10,000, $20,000 that dealers tack onto this. Yeah, I just don't. I mean, me personally, I wouldn't even think about paying it. But like, if you can get one for MSRP, I'd say it's a pretty dang good value. But let me know what you guys think about the new RS3.